I'm not gonna do in this video.
Hey, I'm gonna cut that part out.
Combination of that. I'm just saying there's a combination.
I'm gonna cut that out. Okay.
It's recording.
Yes. Hey everybody.
Hello everybody.
Welcome back to my channel. We've been getting lots of positive responses on people liking to see videos of Jose and I kind of interacting with each other and like these kind of Q&A, getting to know us videos. So,
getting to know us.
Yeah. Today I thought it'd be fun to do a interracial couple tag. So that's something that has been floating around YouTube for quite some time. Kind of a popular video.
What is that?
Just asking questions and getting to know
people
the
that are
audience.
interracial.
Yeah, the audience getting to know us better and
okay, cool.
As an interracial
dirty laundry coming out
couple. No. Okay, so I wrote 10 questions down from.
I have no idea what questions is going to come out, so
I don't
I'm not
either.
Prepared.
I just wrote them down, but I didn't really retain them. So we're just gonna jump right into it.
Let's go for it.
Okay, number 1. What are your backgrounds? Want to go first?
Oh man, I'm like a hodgepodge of everything, but mostly there's a little bit of European. Then Mexican, there's Indian. Man, it's just I'm like a hodgepodge melting pot of like cultures and people. Unlike Mrs. Pureblood over here from the Malfoy clan, we just like a bunch of just, I know there's some German in there. There's my grandmother, they think she was Indian.
This is not like Ancestry.com.
I'm just saying, you're asking what our background. I'm just saying, like, there's just like a mutt.
Your majority was politically Latino. Is that what? I don't even know what's politically Mexican, Hispanic, Latino. Educate me. I don't know.
But basically, yeah, just, the most current is like all Mexican, but majority, I'm not majority, but Mexican is the majority stakeholder in there.
Stakeholder.
But American.
Yeah, and I'm Chinese, obviously. My parents are from Taiwan, but obviously my ancestors are from China, so I'm obviously Chinese, so.
Yeah, like I said, pure blood over
very easy right there. And then kind of to tag onto that, what languages do you speak?
I speak elementary German. Spanish I know very well. I can also read it. I read it slowly, but I can read it. And English.
Yes.
And then I can semi-read Hebrew. I can speak it a little bit, but not like very fluently.
I speak Mandarin. Mandarin was my first language, and then English, obviously.
Oh yeah, English.
Okay, number 2. What is your relationship status?
We're married. What do you mean, relationship status?
We got married this year, earlier in March, actually, in the beginning of the pandemic, which is a whole nother video, whole nother story.
Yeah, and also we've been together for 6 years, but so I got to learn a lot of her culture that I was kind of oblivious to. But I've been married for a year.
Not a year.
No.
A few months.
A few months.
Since March.
Seems like forever.
Okay, number 3. Do you only date Asian/Mexican guys or girls?
No, not really. I've had a range of different ethnicities for girlfriends. So no, I don't specifically date Asians.
Yeah. I am the same. I've dated Asians before and Mexican guys too. I think I'm just attracted to Mexican guys, hence Jose.
Because I'm awesome.
Okay, number 4. So these are getting a little bit more
the first ones were like
yeah.
First ones were like, ooh, whatever.
Okay, so number 5. Number 4. What did your parents think of the relationship?
Well, my mom was like, yay, you're... Basically, she, like, growing up, she's like, oh, because I had a girlfriend back in the day when I was in elementary. This is like, not elementary, in middle school. And this is like back. It was Asian. And she always thought it was cute that I had an Asian, and I think she was Chinese. But what's it called? So when I introduced her, she's like, I knew you were always going to be with a Chinese girl. So my mom was like head over heels over it. My rest of my family were okay with it. I think they were really more intrigued with like, oh, Chinese food, yay, and stuff like that. But other than that, I think they were real open to it, and it's no negativity in that point. They just thought I was going to ruin her. That's basically what they said. Obviously, it didn't. Look, flourishing.
Yes. My parents, I don't think they had any comments about your race. I think I told my dad first. We were at a restaurant, we were eating lunch somewhere, and I was just like, hey dad, I'm dating somebody. He's Mexican. But I think it was more the age that like shook him.
Yeah, we'll have another video about the age gap.
Yeah.
Because that's like, ooh.
Okay,
we'll go on that one next.
All right, so yeah, it shook him just ever so slightly, but I mean, in the end, it was fine. So I think I've been blessed that my parents have become or are very much more open-minded than most traditional Chinese parents who want their children to, you know, marry another Chinese guy or girl, let alone, you know, at least be Asian or something like that. So
yeah, I think your dad, when he met me, he was real reserved and very like what the hell, like protective. I would say protective. Her mom was a little bit more welcoming and more open. Now, when our relationship became known to them, I think her dad really just like kind of always like asked me questions about my future and this and this and that. Her mom just really like embraced me.
Yeah.
And then when I met her grandmother, it was like I felt like just welcome. She was just like, hey, part of the family.
Yeah.
And I think your aunt too. When I met your aunt, she was like, you need to teach them how to talk to it properly in our Mandarin family title. So
how to address them in Mandarin.
In Mandarin.
So it was almost like they just automatically welcomed you into the family.
So I felt real honored on that. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Okay, number 5. Does food ever get complicated?
Not really. I think the only time it gets complicated is when she tries to do these ancient, weird, like 1,000-year egg or some bull crap like that. It's just.
When have I ever made a 1,000-year egg?
No, I'm just saying
you?
That's an example. There's some dishes that are awesome, but there's some dishes that I'll be like, oh, ooh, okay. But you know, my palate's in the 6 years, my palate has changed quite a bit. At first, I wasn't really keen into tofu. Now I love tofu in all its glory. I love all, except for stinky tofu. I still have not tasted that. Like you see, like that gets complicated.
I would say my take on this question is one of the reasons why a lot of traditional Asian parents or Chinese parents kind of stray away or is against, if you will, interracial relationships is for some reason food is part of the reason. I've heard it across the board. They're saying like, you're not gonna have compatibility in food. You guys are gonna have a hard time. Like you're gonna have to change your palate. You know, it's just gonna bring on difficulties in your relationship. And I don't think we have that at all because
my family loves.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've been blessed because Jose absolutely loves Chinese food.
Yeah,
so,
and my son and has mentioned it before, and my niece is like, wow, I'm glad Emily came into our life because now we know how real Chinese tastes like. And it's like really good. It's better than whatever American Chinese that we were eating. Yeah. So you see, it's always been a positive with us. I don't know with you, with our Mexican, like me giving you taquitos and chile relleno and.
No, I think for us, we kind of have the same taste buds on like 90% of the stuff where it doesn't interfere with like our lives. Like food doesn't interfere with our relationship or our lives. I think it's as simple as that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, we're really good on that.
Yeah. Okay, number 6. Do you ever experience cultural clashes?
Ooh.
I don't really know. Like, I know what that means.
Cultural clashes. Like, what do you mean? What does that mean?
I don't know. Let me just say that ever since I've been in this relationship with me, I don't feel like I have lessened any of my cultural experiences.
And I haven't either.
Yeah.
I think, something that I would not have done, but I visited her, just out of respect for her mom and her family, I would visit the Buddhist temple. I wouldn't do that on my own. But going there and experiencing that wasn't like any cultural clash or anything. I felt more like, wow, this is cool. And the tea house was awesome. I love the damn tea houses.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever had any type of cultural clashes. I think the most recent one, and I don't think it's a clash, it's kind of like a habit. It's like I call her mom Michelle. And now that we're married, she was like, you should call her Ma or something. And I'm like, well, she's Michelle. I call her Michelle. It's like, it feels weird. And I think that's the only cultural difference.
That's true. Yeah. So in the Chinese culture, once you get married, you call each other's mom and dad, kind of mom and dad. And so I think that is a cultural thing. But I think I'm lucky because Jose really likes, the Chinese culture and even like entertainment. Like we'll watch a lot of different variety shows, movies and stuff, dramas, with English subtitles, and Jose loves it all. So I still get to be, very much exposed to, things of my culture. And of course the food thing, like he's always down for having Asian food, Chinese food, which is awesome. So yeah.
And my culture doesn't impose on you whatsoever, so I don't think there's been anything.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. Okay, number 7. Do people stare when you go on dates?
Where are we? Like
what
in the
era
1800s?
do we live in? Yeah.
1800s? It's like, oh, she's with that Asian, that Hispanic's with that Asian. They should both be out. I don't know. I don't think there's anything like that.
What's interesting is, and this is so like minute, but I have noticed that a lot of places they'll ask separate or like check when we're cashing out, like at a restaurant, is it separate or is it together? Versus if I was with like Asian people, they always just kind of assume it's like together. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why.
Or the other one, the only time that I've gotten weird eyes is when we're to be the most like funniest, it's in the Asian stores, like full-fledged Dallas Asian store. They'll be like, oh, we're holding hands, or I'll say something to her, and they'll just look at us like, look at me and look at her. That's the only times, but it's just probably like
they think it's cool or something. I don't know, or different.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's the only times.
Yeah. Okay, number 8. Ooh, what's your favorite dish from your partner's culture?
Ooh. I have a few favorite dishes. To be honest, mapo tofu has become like one of my favorite because I like to put it in the rice and then just eat it all. But I think the one that I always order all the time, and I don't know if it's Asian or Cantonese or what, but it's like bean sprouts, dry, hard tofu, sliced pork, some other stuff, some magic, and it's just delicious. Ooh, and lotus root. Emily's mom makes some good lotus root. I always order that. Emily's mom always brings lotus root when she comes over. So
that is very Chinese.
Yeah, and I love lotus root.
Yeah.
How about you?
There's a lot to it. Your mom's beans, I'm so sorry, is hands down the best. Like
I
charo
make good beans
beans
too.
ever. You're like right under hers, but hers is like nothing can top that.
It's borracho
so
beans
much.
or what's it called? It's just like a stew almost, because not just beans. You put so much into it that it tastes like a soup by the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's close people is borracho beans, but not so soup, not so watery, but more in the soupy context.
Yeah, your mom makes so much good food. Like her flautas are good. I also like chile rellenos.
Chile rellenos.
They're so good. The ones with like raisins in it. Oh,
yeah.
So good. The sweet and salty. Okay.
I think we're getting hungry
salivating.
now.
Okay. Number 9. We're almost done. What is the best thing about dating outside of your race?
I think it's just the culture that I got to learn a lot. Like
Chinese New Year's.
Chinese New Year. I didn't
even
know I didn't know what the Chinese New Year's was about. We had it. There's a lot of festivals that are, like we had the Full Moon Festival or the Harvest Festival. What is it?
Mid-Autumn Festival.
Mid-Autumn Festival. I didn't know it. But it's cool to just figure out and learn those things. And I've learned a lot, in the 6 years. And when her dad was around, he used to really sit me down and just talk, like literally give me a lecture of the whole damn thing. So it was really cool learning that because I was interested. I think that's one of the things me and her dad really got along is because I generally showed interest in what he was about his culture, and I think that's what made us click.
Yeah. For me, it's more like your big family, because I know, and I don't know if this is like bad or a stereotypical thing, but you guys have larger
when you say
families.
That, you're gonna say bad.
Well, I don't want people to kind of take it in the wrong context, but I love it because you have a huge family, and I think a lot of Mexican families have large families, and I'm
mom,
a single child, and he has a huge family with brothers and sisters, with nieces and nephews, and it's just such a different vibe from when I was growing up. And so I think that's like one of the biggest things is now that I'm married to you, I've gained this huge amazing family. So
and then really like shocking when she was like, oh yeah, I'm an only child. Oh, my aunt has a kid, and she's an only child. Oh, my other aunt has a kid, and so there's only three.
On my mom's side.
On her mom's side, and that's they're small like that.
Yeah. So that's cool. Okay, number 10, the last one.
All right.
What is one piece of advice you would give to someone entering an interracial relationship?
One piece of advice?
Yeah.
Just don't let your how you were raised or your background or your culture impose on theirs. Be open-minded to some things. And I'd say this because I had to be very open-minded on a lot of things. And it's not like try to be bad about it, but I was just open-minded so I can learn and figure and realize how they are. Because there's some things where you'll pick up with her family. I'm like, oh, that's kind of mean or whatever. And then you start realizing it's like, oh, it's not.
No,
it's
I'm
just,
curious. But
I'm not going to talk about it.
Tell me offline.
But there's some things that you just kind of learn and you start accepting other cultures as they are. Never try to impose your upbringing and culture, on that, because I don't see nothing wrong in what anything. It's just we're just being experienced to that.
Yeah, I concur, and I think to really just learn to embrace another person's culture and, like you said, upbringing. Even though upbringing and culture, some people might think is different, but I think your culture has a lot to do with your upbringing, and it makes it very different from probably your the other person's upbringing and values and things like that. So I think it's like you said, just really respectful, and I think take it, embrace it, and take it as like a experience. It's an adventure. Just learning about it totally, being immersed for a lifetime in another person's culture, I think is actually kind of cool.
Yeah, and like one of the things, that really was amazing by being open-minded is that I never traveled to Asia, like Japan or Taiwan, little Taiwan. I think it's a little island out of nowhere. But because of my wife, I was able to experience that. Going to Japan, getting lost in Japan,
with my mom,
with her mom trying to. It was like a whole tobacco, just her mom talking Chinese to an old man talking Japanese.
English, I don't know. It was
English
hilarious.
Was not there. It was just all crazy everywhere. There was a lot of pointing involved. But when we went to Taiwan, it was like it was just they were showing me around like this is where I grew up. Oh, this is where I want to take you here. Her aunts came and took us everywhere. It was basically like getting a tour from a person that basically lived and grew up there.
Yeah.
Like if
it
Emily...
was almost like, and me too, because I hadn't been back since I was 12. So as an adult, it was kind of like we were just both plucked and just like submerged, like no
we were
beat
like,
skipped,
And I was like, I didn't even ask what are we gonna eat. They just like it was gonna happen, and I was like, when is it gonna happen? I don't know. It's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
And everything we ate there was amazing and delicious. Yeah. So that that I would never have had if I didn't got with my wife of Taiwanese descendants.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. I think that's a benefit of it. I would have never done that. If I would have gone to Japan eventually, but never in my lifetime Taiwan, a little island that no one really knows about. Yeah, really didn't know about it. I think now more people know about it because of the news and everything that's going on with China. But back, growing up, I didn't know where Taiwan was. I wouldn't even know.
Yeah. So that concludes our video.
Yeah.
Really, I think
That wasn't like that was kind of I don't know how I feel about the questions. I feel like they were like
well,
blah.
it has to be kind of vague, geared towards all different
all
different
vague.
types of interracial couples. You know,
I thought they would have been more fun or something, or like what's the worst food you would have eaten
we can
from
make
the other
up
person?
our own questions.
You know, this was kind of like I'm glad I didn't get to read the questions.
But thank you so much
Thank you very
for
much.
hearing our
Blabbing
answers.
around.
Yeah, I think we had a good time just talking about it. So
Yeah, actually, it was pretty cool hearing some of the things you said on those things.
likewise.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for our next video. We're gonna keep thinking of different kind of interactive videos between Jose and I. So
And if you have any questions you have to ask, just put it in the comments and
yeah,
we can put it on next time or some ideas.
yeah.
I know one of our friends mentioned something about having Emily taste Mexican candy, so we might do that as well. I think that's a great idea.
I want to try that.
Yeah, because we have a bunch of cool candy from Mexico.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is it. Please subscribe and comment like Jose said, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Take care. Bye.